Hi, Emil again. Okay, let's get right into changing our images. Okay, let's click on the image tab. Let's scroll this up a little bit. Okay, your first item here is add image size. Basically, that says that's the largest size possible of 5 million bytes that can be uploaded to your website, to your web host. Okay, the web host may have a restriction, it may be lower than that. Okay, so you need to check with them to find out what is allowable. Okay, the image, add image width and height. Basically, these are the sizes that the image is going to be resized to. Obviously, if the image is smaller than that, it's not going to resize it. It's just going to leave it at the size it is. But if it's larger, let's say 2,000 wide by 1,500 high, then it's going to reduce it down to 700 by 460. And that's because you don't want to be displaying a huge image every time an ad is displayed. It's just going to eat up the bandwidth. Okay, and then the thumbnail width and height, you can set those too, so that when you're showing an image, in this case here, we're looking at an image on an ad. This puppy is 700 wide by what was that, 460 high, and each individual thumbnail is set to, I think it was 120 by 80. Okay, so that you can set those accordingly depending on how your page lays out. Okay, image pop-up. This allows you to either show an image in a pop-up or not. And the next one below that says image pop-up size. Basically, when a user is looking at your website and they're looking at a listing, all of these images, you've got small thumbnails, they can just mouse over the image and it'll show the full size image, in this case 60% of it, which is what we set in the administration page, so that there you can see they can see the various images. In this case here, that's a forced garage sale image, so nothing's going to display. Okay, you can set this percentage to be larger or smaller depending on how it looks on your website. Watermark, you can add a watermark to the image. Basically what that allows you to do is it'll put a watermark in the top left corner of your image, and it'll also put a watermark on each of the thumbnails that are created. And this is so that when you're getting these images on your website, you may want to show that you own them. If you don't care, then just leave this empty and no watermarks will be put out there. No picture image. If no image is uploaded, then this is going to display a small GIF image indicating no image, rather than just leaving things blank. Okay, that just ends up looking a little sloppy. Okay, image display type. There are, 5 different possibilities. Image display and gallery view, which is basically what the default is for all my components when I send it out. You've got the main image here, and then the icons either below or vertically to the right of it. And as a user mouses over a particular thumbnail, they can see the large image almost immediately. This comes up very fast because obviously doing it locally, once you've got on your website, it'll be take a little longer for the full image to download. But once it's been downloaded and they come back to it, then it'll be popping up just this quickly. You can also change this so that the images will come up as either a pop-up in a new window or open up in an image in a lightbox, or high slide, or as a separate pop-up. These are all basically the same. Lightbox probably works out the best for most people. We'll quickly save that, and we refreshed the screen already, and as you can see, there's no large image. Each individual thumbnail is being scrolled across the screen, and as you position the mouse over it, it'll pause, and if you want to see the large image, all they have to do is click on it. Now with their mouse, if they move it to the left side, they can go to previous images, or if they go to the right side, they can click on next. and it'll just show the next image in the listing. Okay, and basically that's how it'll work for most of these others. They're just slightly different. You can play with those to get a better feel as to which one you would prefer. Okay, then we have max category icon width, max category icon height, and then thumbnails. Basically, those are when you're looking at a category, or basically a category listing, I should say. It'll come up, and in this case, it's showing the thumbnails to the left of these categories. If you had 3 or more categories, then these thumbnails would be shown above the listings themselves. And you can see it'll allow you to put in animated GIFs too to give your website a little life. Okay, the icons, these thumbnail icons. These are basically when you're creating the categories, which we'll get into later. That's where you can see the small thumbnail of the category icons. Okay, this next item, global free and paid images. This is where you can determine globally the max number of images allowed on the website, the max number of free images, and the max paid images. Obviously, these don't add up to 8, but when a individual is adding it in via posting a new ad, then they basically will only show up 3 free and 3 paid images. It won't show you all 8. The only time you'll see all 8 is if you're editing a ad in the back end, and then it'll actually show you a full 8 of them. Okay, paid image cost. This is where you have max paid images, 3 of them. For each image, it's going to charge an additional $6.50. And again, these are global values. They can be overwritten at the category and the at the image level, at the category level, and the subcategory level. Okay, the thumbnail display options. This is where you can set how you wish to have the thumbnails displayed. Basically, I had them displayed horizontally. If you want, you can change it to vertically, and then you'll want to change the scrolling direction. Instead of starting from the left, it'll start going up, but you'll need to also change the add image width, because if you don't, let's see what it does. As you can see, the image is still quite large. The thumbnails don't have anywhere to go to the right side of it, so they end up going below it. So we need to change the actual size of the image, and we're going to just change it. In this case, we'll change it to 640 by 430, and we'll save this. Whoops, my bad, it's still too large. So let's go back and we'll change it to 580 by 400. And here you can see that now there's plenty of room. The main image here, and as you mouse over the thumbnails, it'll just quickly replace the images. So let's go back here and quickly check other things. You can set the vertical height. This is the max height of the images for the thumbnails. You want to basically make sure that they're the same height that you have for the main image itself. Otherwise, it'll tend to overflow and look rather poor. Okay, your scroll behavior. Basically, there are 4 different types. You can tell it's static, meaning it's not going to scroll at all. It's just going to be stationary. Alternate, basically it's going to go from left and right and keep going back and forth, or it's going to go up and down, depending on whether you chose vertical or horizontal. Scroll means it's basically going to scroll to the left or right side, depending on whether you determine the scrolling direction. It's basically going to scroll across the screen and then come back in from the other side. Slide is basically going to scroll across the screen and then just stop. Okay, so you can play with those to kind of get a better feel for what you've got. And the scrolling direction, in this case, we set it to vertical, so we want to make sure scrolling direction is going either up or down. If we set it to horizontal, then we want to make sure that the scrolling direction is either left or right. That means it's going to come in from the left side or from the right side. Okay, scroll amount. What this is going to allow you to do is set the speed of how fast the images, the thumbnails are scrolling across the screen. What you want to do is really have a small value for the scroll amount. 2, 3, 4 usually is a comfortable size, and then scroll delay also indicates how many pixels it's going to jump as it goes across. That's going to be your I'm sorry, scroll amount is for the amount of pixels. Scroll delay has its stall so that when you're looking at it, see here it's moving along at a rather smooth, slow and easy pace. If you set the values too high, then it'll just start flying back and forth. And after a while, that gets rather cumbersome. Okay, so that ends our discussion on image tab. Go to the next tutorial to check the text tab. Thanks. Bye.